is going to be a pre-check on your motorcycle to make sure you go on a trip safely and get home safely. So let's go. All right, so first up is engine oil. If you've got no engine oil, then you might seize your motor, and yeah, that's a costly replace. So first up, we want to get our bike level. She's pretty level enough for me to have a look at the little window. And as you can see, hopefully you can see that the oil level rose. And if you feel the bike, it's about center. So the oil level, as you hopefully just saw, is in between the two marks on that little window. So let's go to the next step for the pre-ride checks. All right, next step in the pre-ride checks is brakes. So check your front brake. That's pretty good. You can feel the pressure coming on there. So plenty of brakes there, and also check the back brake. Not much play there. So a trick with the brakes, if you feel them really spongy, is to get a cable tie or zip tie, if you want to call it that, and wrap it around the brakes as tight as you can, because you can squeeze it right in, and then leave it overnight, and then it'll get all the bubbles out of the air lines and then come up to your reservoir. So there's a little tip. Also, we want to check the reservoir levels. So that's the reservoir there. As you can see, it's quite full. There's no, say, air there, so it's full, which is great. So this is the reservoir here, and in between, that's the lower line and there's the upper line. As long as the fluid's in between there, we're good. That's a quick, easy way to check your brakes, and in free play, how to fix it, and also check the fluid reservoir. So there's my front, there's my rear down there, and if it was low, you get your recommended fluid and top it up. Pretty simple. So obviously safety is a big concern on the roads. People want to know if you're turning left or right, people want to see you at night. So we've got to check our signals and our lights. So turn the ignition on. It's on low beam, high beam, low beam. Check your turn signals. Right, yep. Left, yep. And so also got to check the brakes. So turn signals, right, yep. Left, yep. Lights on now. So the front brake on, yep, it's going brighter. Rear brakes, boom. So it's as simple as that. That's how we check our turn signals, brakes and lights. All right, so in this one, we're going to check the tyres. So check your manual for the tyre pressure you want to put yours to. So for me, the front's 30 and the rear's 31. So that's the tyre pressure. Also, you want to check the actual tread depth. So I'll give you a closer look. As you can see, these tyres are basically brand new. These are the Metzeler ME888 Marathon Ultras. Here is the next step, steering and suspension. So steering travel, full lock to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the right. It's not binding, it's free, it's nice and easy, so perfect. And suspension. Chuck your front brake on, check your front suspension, look at that. Nice. And then rear, not much adjustments with those ones, they're original shocks, so I'll eventually replace those. So that's how to check your steering, make sure it doesn't bind, and also your shocks, so your front forks and your rear shocks, to make sure they're smooth also. So let's go to the next step. All right, the next step, the final decent check on your bike, chain and sprockets. So basically, we want to check the chain. So check that it's nice and clean, no gump on it, just build up of shit basically. And so it's fine. I actually cleaned this yesterday, so she's Mickey Mouse, this one. And also check your chain tightness, check your manual for that. So now sprockets, we want to check the sprockets. So if they're really worn out, you'll notice they kind of concave and sort of bend towards one direction. But as you can see, these ones, there's plenty of life left on them. And a close up of the chain. So as you can see, the chain is nice and clean. Nothing wrong with it. So that's it on checking the chain. So there's one final step to make sure you get to where you want to go. Final step, fuel. That's right, how many times have you almost ran out of fuel? As you can see, there's no fuel gauge. So all I have is down here, this little petcock here. So I've got on and reserve. So make sure you check your fuel, because that's, you don't want to really get stuck on the side of the road, especially a bike, as they're pretty easy to go missing, bikes are, if they're left on the side of the road. So if you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I'm Tony, this is Capturing the Ride, and stay tuned for some blooper reels. Test. So, which came with the bike, but I pretty much left some neighbour. Alright, so there's it. So this is the final step. So, I'll start again.